When I was around 10, 12 years old, something pretty traumatic happened in my family that left me shattered, which is a story for another day. I struggled with mental illness and my own self-image. I hated myself. I was absolutely disgusted whenever I looked in the mirror. The mirror was torture. The one time of day I had to stare into my soul and see how broken I was. But I ignored it. Prior to this event, I was outgoing, I wanted to be a part of things, I was always trying to do something. This all changed by the beginning of 5th grade, which is when this all started. I began to have friendships with people that were not healthy for me, and I did not know that at the time. I put all of my trust into my best friend to love and support me through this dark time. I hung out with them all the time. I tried to be like them. I tried to be in every ounce of gossip like them. I tried to be someone I wasn't. I tried so hard to impress boys. I woke up at 4 a.m. to do my hair and make sure I looked perfect because that's what they taught me. They taught me that if I wasn't perfect, I was ugly. I believed it. I believed it wholeheartedly. I'd always been the bigger girl, heavier and taller. It never bothered me until this friendship, so I started to lose weight, not in the right way. I was hurting myself, but I didn't care. I was going to be pretty, right? Because you can always believe your best friend, right? And then one day I couldn't take it anymore. Let's just say that it ended because it was toxic and things happened that proved that. It wasn't healthy, and the moment I finally saw that, I was done. I had given my best friend so many chances. I was done trying to prove myself. From there, I stood my ground that I do not want them in my life, and everyone I loved somewhat went against me. I felt completely alone, as if no one had my back. I had never felt more misunderstood and shattered. I didn't know how to do anything anymore. It was all numb. This is when I hit the lowest and darkest point in my life. I hid everything I did to myself. It was the summer, so it was the perfect time to do so. No, I never self-harmed. The only harm I did was mental. I started to stay in my room throughout the whole summer, talking to no one. The only time I went out was when I was forced. But even then, I tried to find every excuse I possibly could to avoid it. I'd say I'm feeling sick or I have something I need to do. I never did. I never had anything to do, so I lied to avoid it. Then a little time went on and I completely snapped. I couldn't take the sorrow and pain of it all. I didn't know how to deal with it, and that's when my family finally saw what I was doing. At that moment, I was scared out of my mind and ashamed of myself for letting it all slip out. Then I found a platform that completely changed my life for the better. I watched YouTube videos which filled the silence with positivity and light. I found an outlet to build me up. From there, I started to make videos which are a way I could express myself and take myself away from reality. It was my own little world of what I wanted. This is also around the time that I had a lot of anger still built up in me from an event. So I went to therapy. I absolutely hated it. I despised it. I thought it was fine. I didn't need help. This is a waste of time. It didn't even help. It doesn't help sitting in a dark room with a stranger I do not know, confessing every depressing detail about myself while feeling embarrassed and judged all at the same time. I went through 3 therapists until I found the one. Before I found the therapist, I had finally dove into the journey of self-love. I visually didn't see myself when I looked into the mirror after all of that. I saw a girl wanting to be loved. I told myself I was going to look into the mirror and tell myself I am beautiful until I believed it. It took a while. I struggled to believe it, but I eventually did. I finally stopped harming my body. I learned this is my body and it's all I have. No one's opinions about myself matter besides my own. I learned that I am absolutely gorgeous, talented, loving, deserving, captivating, intelligent, and so much more. I learned to love the imperfections of my body because those are what make me into the incredible being I am. I learned it's okay to not be okay. I learned that life isn't easy. There are many obstacles you must face, and you are the only thing in between life and death. And never take one breath for granted, because one breath means you've made it another second. And that's an accomplishment in its own. I learned asking for help isn't a weakness, it's a strength. I learned what I deserve. I deserve love. After so many years of constant hatred to my body, I finally began to form the connection I had lost, molding myself into myself. The one I wanted to be. Although I started to love myself and stop caring what people thought, I still went to therapy. I still didn't want to go. I didn't even want to think about it. But I went, and I found the therapist. One that makes me feel so comfortable I don't hesitate to cry out all of the sorrow. One that picks out everything in my head I'm too scared to say. One that helps me break down walls I didn't even consider I needed to be broken. One that encourages me to be me. One that teaches me the importance of mental health and self-love, one that keeps me going. I had finally learned why I need to sit down with a complete stranger confessing every flaw I have to further develop my soul. I had finally learned that therapy isn't something to be looked down upon. It should be encouraged to anyone of any age. Mental illness does not have an age limit. I asked a friend once, "Does it seem like I need help?" They quickly replied, "No, absolutely not. The only reason people see me as someone who doesn't need help is because I got the help I needed and continue to. I ask for help. I'm not afraid to show that I can't fight the battle on my own because there are people everywhere that are willing to in a heartbeat, which I'm forever grateful for. I've come to realize how much love is standing right in front of me. I just had to learn that in myself before I could accept it. After several years of ups and downs, I've come to accept myself and everything I am. I love who I am, and it feels like an absolute blessing being able to say that and mean it after years of never believing it for a second. It's not a lie anymore. Never be afraid to ask someone for help. If you need someone, they will be there for you. Surround yourself with people that only lift you up. Take care of yourself. Love yourself.